Alright, let's do a review on the Wright 32-inch standard. I've had this thing for 3 years now. Good machine. It has its pros, it has its cons. I got about 500 hours on it, I believe, in 3 years. Don't worry about engine service because that's off because of the factory setting. Yep, 500 hours. So, this machine here, the cons. I don't like the cons because this is a fixed deck. You cannot adjust that deck to move the blades. You either have to pull these pins out and get greasy. Pull the pin out, drop the thing, move the spacers on both sides. Or you do what we do, we jack it up, we drop the blades and move the spacers. That's the best way, I think, on doing it that way. I know on 95% of the yards, the height right there, well, sitting on the road, the height right there will clear 95% of the sprinklers. So the cons, the other con is the bushings in here have worn out twice. That could have been my fault for not greasing them enough. So I've replaced those twice. You can see we just greased this. Look at that grease going out. I need to wipe some of that off, but make sure it gets plenty of grease. Carburetor got clogged up a little bit. Started running rough. It was surging, but we put some treatment in it, cleared that up. But I love this machine. Besides, you know, the pros on it, it goes through 98% of my gates. I do have a couple yards that it barely fits through. Yes, a 32-inch, it barely fits through the gates, but it does. I got 1 yard that doesn't. I have to push mow that one. Gas tank, this thing is great. I think that's a 2.5 gallon tank, maybe. Great on gas. It if something happened to the Ferris and I had to run this all week, I could probably get 3.5 to maybe 4 full days of cutting on this. Doesn't use a lot of gas. The front coasters I've replaced with fat free because they were going flat a few times. It doesn't burn oil a lot. It used to burn a little bit of oil. Kawasaki come out and said down there in Florida and Texas where it's hot all the time, start using the 20W50 weight oil besides the 30 weight. So I went to do the oil change and he says they recommend the 50 weight now, and it doesn't use a lot of oil like it used to. So that's great. Great machine. Like I said, this is the 32-inch Wright standard. I mean, it has its flaws. I mean, the deck doesn't float, so you have to manually change the blades, but it's a great machine. It's pretty quick, easy to turn. I mean, I ain't had too much trouble out of it. Like I said, the bearings in here, I've had to replace the bushings. I mean, just change the oil every 50, 60 hours. They did recommend every 100. Now they say every 50. I'll go about 60. But every 60 hours, it does. Easy access if you need to work on anything. You lift this up. Here's your hydraulic fluid tank. Your dump valves, you got to turn those if you have to manually push it. You stand on here. It's a nice little plate. If you fall off the machine, as soon as your foot comes off, the machine should shut off unless you bypass that. I wouldn't recommend that. Don't let your dealer know. But it's a pretty good machine, guys. I like it. It's got me through a lot of tight spots. And if you got any questions or comments, leave them below. I mean, it's a comfortable machine. Like I said, it's only a 32-inch, but it does good for me. Like I said, I got one gate for sure does not go through. I got one house I have to take the gate off to get it through. But besides that, I love it. So the two cons were not a floating deck and these bushings that wore out twice. So any comments? Any comments? Any other things y'all want to ask me about? Let me know. I need to reset this because it says service in 2 hours, and that ain't gonna happen because you don't go by every 100 hours now. You go by every 50. Like I said, I choose every 60. It's easy to get to the oil. There's your oil filter right there. You come down here, you put a hose on right here, you turn this, it's a 10 millimeter, poof, you drain your oil. You close it, you pull this off, you're done. Very easy setup to change the oil. Hydraulics I don't mess with. When it needs hydraulic service, I take it to the shop, let them do it. Alright guys, that is my review for my 3-year-old 32-inch Wright Standard. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.